Giants don't follow through initially. Rhyme just positioned here to hold for the push. Spike not committed just yet. Actually, I'm not even sure if there's been any information given away on B side either. See nukkye and Fatinho at least poised to try and find this opener as Giants will drift back this direction.
Yeah, slowly but surely. And you can just about see Boaster starting to lean this way as well. There's the first bit of information found. I'll be cleared, but it should at least call to attention some of these Fnatic players, but we do still see the lack of full commitment here.
What's interesting is actually Rhyme has been slowly digging deeper and deeper, clearing these close angles. But Fnatic have already got a read. With no follow through on the alarm bot,
30 seconds left.
Fnatic have 4 players in position to greet this A site hit. And actually the wall going up preemptively as well.
Yeah, so much utility still to play with as well for Fnatic. Really nice positioning here. Should be at least good to posture for some danger, but actually finding nothing for it. Hoody the first to try and draw blood, and it's Derke on the other side. Quickly dealt with, but 10 seconds now. Eyes towards the time at the top of the map, and back and forth the stand-in is the one to actually take it away. The spike never quite made it that far in the end. And running that low, but without any intention behind that fake, really was the downfall of Giants.
Like I said, not even really with a probe behind that alarm bot contact, so there's nothing to really sell the presence on B site. So Boaster, the fantastic read, preemptively getting bodies in place to defend this late round hit from Giants.
Lovely little push and pull there between kind of Leo and kamyk, just swinging off the back of the contact. Really nice, not looking too threatened even by that amount of presence late game. So again, going through this, we will just be seeing very traditional purchase coming out and actually abstaining from anything, it looks like, on the Giant side.
Just going to run classics into this. The Guardian actually in the hands of Derke. Actually, Chronicle going to get caught off guard. I say just classics, but he's found the opener here. Can they follow through and find Derke as well?
Look at this lovely work. Again, Leo on the bailout. So beautiful to watch when he does this sort of work. Again, it's not the fancy stuff sometimes for Leo, but he is your absolute star of a safe pair of hands. Fnatic unfazed. Yes, they lose Chronicle, but not a single real threat after that.
But again, this pick, well, yeah, even with classics, comes so deep that they can't even retrieve and get an upgrade. They can't even capitalize on that first blood other than creating a man advantage. See actually how the funds will settle here. Leo buying down to 450. Shouldn't be too much of a concern, but at least a little bit of bite in this. Logitech power up round. Round 3 coming in. The Guardian, 2 Bulldogs, and actually rifles across the board here for Fnatic. So obviously the only gap being Leo's funds to take away from this.
I do want to see if Giants potentially try and pressure towards kamyk here to see how well he responds
it's interesting, right? If the anti-strat is to target what you would assume is the weak link in this, and obviously fulfilling the killjoy role, there's an argument to be made around obviously the macro element and the understanding of timings, but if they've had that opportunity to prep and really get kamyk on board with all of that, which you have to assume with Mini at the helm of this team, that's not something they're going to have overlooked.
No, they are absolute sweats. In the best way. But now it was an early presence invested in towards the B site from Fnatic, but somewhat dissolving out off the back of 0 contact again. 0 presence noted. They've invested over towards the A site instead. Chronicle will be the one potentially here.
Well, I mean, it's a perfect set, right? There's this Nanostorm to almost play anti-plant initially or stall a little bit on B site, so they can commit to this setup right now.
Yeah, kamyk could be the one that is going to be tested. Yes, Chronicle is there. Timing to allow the cross, but you can see the damage being done.
kamyk actually doesn't swing onto the slow orb. I think he would have been rewarded there, but tempering his aggression for the time being.
Again, maybe not wanting to make errors here. You want to be that safe player, but the site's now under contest. You've got issues. The spike's going down. Can you deny it? You are so close to this. First kill found in the second, not quite there. Good trade for Rhyme. And now the time on their side, Giants need to dig their heels in, but Chronicle and Derke are breaking down the door, and we're now just down to very few players remaining. Cloud and Fatinho, what more can you do?
Actually, Fatinho going to find one from under tube here. Fnatic got to be conscious of this, but Chronicle going to clean things up. Cloud now left to try and recover the situation. It's not a good plant for him. He has to reposition, gets back to yellow, finds a kill as well.
Red shot, but the defuse, it's next in line. You're going to know Derke, but you know the defuse is happening. Oh my word, Cloud! keeps his composure, keeps his cool, and doesn't even break a sweat, but that got close to a 1v3.
And so early on, we see the heads there. That's 1-0 for Leo already.
Yep.
Beautiful stuff, a heroic effort from Cloud, though.
Yeah, fabulous
To try and recover this. And the only thing really you can criticize them, like I said, is that plant position. Again, with the amount of pressure and no contact coming through, I think Giants are thinking we have to commit to a safe plant. It's awkward to actually set up in a post-plant position for that. Fnatic will start off 3-0 here on Icebox. And I know you noted this was Fnatic's crowning jewel at lock-in, but was also actually poetic enough. Giants' final map that they played lost to NRG. It was their exit from lock-in. Shockdart here to potentially try and find some of that utility in mid. Let's come back into this. Light shields across the board, but I've been able to string together some weapons.
I'm kind of talking bigger picture, I guess. For me so far, I haven't seen Giants really being able to pull Fnatic around the map just yet. They've either gambled it incredibly well or they've worked off the information that they found very early on here perfectly. I've not seen Fnatic really out of position once. So if Giants do want to keep playing this more slow and posturing game, that kind of take space and then hit a rotation off the back of a little bit of contact, that's fine. But there's still utility that I'm just waiting for them to try and deal with. And a whole different look here. This time it's Boaster. Yeah. You're going to see a different look every single time, which is very hard to approach.
I think as well with this setup, he's actually almost doubling down on this anti-plant nano swarm. Does have the snake bites to complement that as well. Potentially even cover a wider area for the plant. kamyk. Close unison here. Derke could be caught off guard, but actually, Rhyme not even checking towards pipes there.
Completely unawares. And they still have the other side of the map under perfect control. Again, Fnatic, right place, right time. This is gorgeous.
The pendulum swing right now. We have 4 players committed towards B side to actually greet Giants on the way in. And it's an awkward position to try and commit to.
And again, the time, we're down to 10 seconds here. There's so few opportunities left. Nukkye's dead, yeah, it's done for. Put a bow on it, put a fork in it, whatever one you do. This is done, Derke. Just doing the damage, and Cloud trying to get out of there with his life. Fnatic so far are reading Giants like a book, and Giants need to come up with a plan now.
This is the thing, it needs to be more proactive for me. There needs to be some control towards mid, because without that Sage, there's 2 win conditions. You take Snowman control, or you have connector control. It's one of the 2. It's absolutely non-negotiable. And right here with Giants, 4 players stacked towards B main, no real contact being given on the side of Fnatic, means it's absolutely free. You can pressure so many of these plant spots with the lack of that Sage wall. You can see that, I mean, Nukkye's in such a rough spot to try and commit to that. Like you said, then time on top of that, the Viper wall, the cooldown of the Toxin, that comes into play as well. There's so many factors there that make it difficult for Giants to even get the first tick in the box.
It looked like Soulcast trying to plant on this map. Like, just nothing. There was
what a horrendous reference to make.
I know,
what a horrendous reference to make.
Look, it
at least Soulcast had a Sage wall.
Barely.
For a few seconds.
Yeah, for every now and then he might keep it. But, I mean, Giants need to adjust drastically. Their default is doing absolutely nothing. And let's talk about what you want them to do. Were you talking about more aggression behind it, more proactivity? What is, in your mind, is the checklist that they need to now adjust?
I mean, they can't funnel into the choke point there. If the reliance is to actually drift towards a B-side hit late in the round, the two massive factors they need to achieve is Snowman or Connector. It's one of the 2. Whether that be Kitchen, under Tube, again, leave that up to
dealer's choice.
Exactly, dealer's choice on that front. But to try and deal with some of the mid utility early on with that shock dart, and then to show no presence, there's no pressure anywhere at any other point of the map. So when Giants come in, Fnatic have full map control. They're like, yeah, okay, cool. Let's just ping and spam through the rifle wall.
Well, Coutinho, let's see how you do. Big round for him here. They do have at least one of those Vandals still remaining with Cloud. So that's been kept to hand. So a fair bit of threat into this round at least, but once again, Fnatic right place. They can pull the additional player if they feel like it, but it hasn't been early round pressure. This could change just off the back of Coutinho popping the ult, but here's slow progress from Cloud. Lovely work. A quick trade, and then I want to see the rest of the threat here. It's been seen. Derke makes a meal of it, but it's fine. Still no threats to be made. They can't springboard off the back of this.
Nukkye both with the ult command in here to try and find something, but Boaster actually playing way out of range. You can see him on the mini-map, so they still have that Viper wall to play around. Heads up positioning from him. The other side of the map here, Hoody does find a lurk onto B site, but again, we're going to run through the same concerns here. The rifle and the blade sword to work with. Sheriff in the hand for Hoodie. So they might actually get this. There's no nano swarm this time around. No snake bites from Boaster.
Okay.
Oh, finally. He still gets the kill though.
Come off it,
He found the spam.
How's he got on that? I was going to say nukkye with the rifle could have done something, but apparently not. And you can already see the wrap coming in as well. The map's going to feel real small for Giants. Vitinho has to be the saving grace to this. Hoodie's dead to rights. Apparently not. Somehow still stands. Kamyk does get it on the second bite of the cherry, but it's Vitinho in a 1v. No.
He's trying to buy time for the cloud burst to expire. Just can't find the first. Fnatic will find their 5th. 4 standing.
Oh, man. Well, that's not a confidence
That's
booster, is it?
heartbreaking. Heartbreaking.
Oh.
It's tough as well, the timing. Again, nukkye finally actually successful with the plant, but again, this is what I mean. It's so precarious to rely on some of these dry plants here. I mean, nukkye hasn't even got a chance to get away.
No, it looked like he was dead to the second he planted, and there's that moment. Crowd actually laughed. That's devastating.
I think that was Derke's laugh.
That's even worse. 5-0. The ult cycle about to hit perfectly for Fnatic very soon. Boaster 2 away, kamyk only 1 away, and Derke now, here's a little bit of the adjustment period. Because Giants have been playing so passive, so slow on the defaults, Derke starts to explore, starts to exploit, just throws the spanner in the works and walks away. And now they're even in the better positions they have been in every other single round to this point.
Beautiful intent behind that. The second layer being Derke to take the space that Hunter's Fury will garner, forcing somebody out of position. I think actually, say no, Rhyme wasn't noted on that, so we'll come across, but look at it, they're funneling back into this choke point.
I want to see variation, Mike.
There's no challenge here. There's going to be a round where Derke's just going to post up, because he knows he's going to be rewarded.
I just want to see whatever the difference is. I don't care what it is. It looks like nukkye.
The angle from danger could be a problem.
More space. Okay, that's what it is. Maybe exploring a little deeper, trying to get a couple of picks towards the site, and it's messy from Chronicle, but the support system's now here. Leo gets challenged, though. Nukkye taking the site and taking the names. This ain't bad at all from him. And if we need it around, maybe it's nukkye who can provide it. At least brings it into the realms of realistic expectations. It's a 3v3. Lockdown's just come in, so time once again being purchased.
That actually might just be the round. The timing of that lockdown to come through might force Fnatic away and just make this a little bit more difficult. Vitinho's also going to find another kill, but Boaster and Chronicle, they respond. It's just Hoodie.
Lineup, he's got a bank on this Hoodie. This best be good. Don't overdo it. I think he's done this just right, but the wall there is making him nervous, and Hoodie needs to be sure. He needs to make sure this is correct. Whoa, no! The time!
He's got it. Oh. I mean, he tries to bounce the snakebite off the wall that the spike's planted against. So there's no reality that lands. Maybe just a high-pressure scenario that, I don't know, but this round feels like a fumble.
It's a throw.
I didn't want to say throw, but it feels like a massive fumble.
It was the best chance they'd had. They invested so much around that too.
I mean, the only thing that's left coming out of that is the Hunter's Fury. You can see the frustration. Yeah, that is a round that you look at on paper. You take a screen grab of the mini-map. As soon as that lockdown comes in, you're like, yeah, they're closing this one out.
That's a win. And Derke's been given freedom. So why not go again? And he gets deeper this time. He can just sit here posted. He can be the alarm bot. He can be the early system that shoots a little better and hits a little harder. But Giants taking the space again. Can they actually challenge this, though?
Concern being this A clearance comes so deep and so slowly that Derke's going to have the space to exploit. Yeah. And he loves doing that. The next step actually being, if they post him up in B main, allow a little bit of the time to burn away, force Giants into a slow clearance. Oh, should have been rewarded with that one. But
he knows there's 2 players there now as well. This is big info. Off the owl drone and the contact towards KJ, you now know that there is a little bit more presence than maybe wanted, but now seeing others on the other side. Boaster going to put together a little bit of a picture himself. Is there any room to be trying to exploit anything? Vitinho tries to play the smoke, does get Boaster down, but the trade is there. So Fnatic not really letting any control of the site go.
First time we've seen a mid-split here. Hoodie's all the way through. Cloud picks up Derke on that flank. But Hoodie's position becomes so important now.
Okay, good work. That's one. Needs a little more, though. Leo moving in on the space, now gained back. Chronicle trying to clear through. Still know there's dangers behind them. They just seemingly can't do anything. And there it is. Plant finally.
Finally, yeah, finally.
Okay, Hoody has done a lot of damage there. This would be miracles from Leo. A 1v3. Nukkye chunked. Rhyme down low HP. First contact and he gets traded. Great spacing, good swing. Do not give Leo a second to breathe.
On paper, yes, that's the first round win, but that's the best round we've seen from Giants.
Yeah.
In terms of setup, in terms of early round intentions and what they want to achieve. Hoody making that position work off the rip. First time we've seen it, and it delivers.
Well, you've been asking for it since the very start of this, discussing, okay, is there an option to try and exploit kamyk being in this? Is he less comfortable? Is there space to be had? But even just the idea of splitting one of these two sites is the main aspect.
Problem comes from now, actually this comes so late on in the half that actually we swing into the camp of what's Fnatic's adjustment. How they now address this. And then actually Giants have to re-explore some of those protocols that just have been absolutely missing so far in Icebox. Timeout actually coming from Fnatic here.
Yeah.
Doubt they're sweating too much about it. Maybe to just discuss some of the things that Giants are looking to switch up here. And maybe this is where we see the adjustment of Derke.
Maybe. I mean, they have such depth to run into this, even with a stand-in. Yes, a little harder to maybe make work without Alpha there. But even with that in mind, they should have a lot of options to run to. And even just noting what just happened as well.
I mean, I'll come out and say it. Obviously, Alpha, traditionally the one to pick up most of that area that I'm talking about, Giants need to focus on. So whether or not Giants now will find the chink in the armor, so to say, and they want to try and exploit that a little bit, if that trend does continue, my eyes go straight back towards what Fnatic want to do with the early round now.
Derke.
The turret's not been dealt with in Kitchen once.
No, it hasn't.
That's the checklist. You're playing against the Killjoy. What map control is inherently achieved immediately on the back of that. That's it. Come through. Not sure if it does actually remove the turret.
Okay. And that's certainly quite indicative of pressure to come following that.
What I meant by not being dealt with yet, nobody's come up and actually given it contact. Again, that's what usually draws a rotation. If it's dealt with early in the round here with utility, usually it's not a massive call for adjustment or call to action for Fnatic.
And that's quite, I guess it's echoed what we've seen throughout this as well. There's not been intention behind clearing some of the utility, which Fnatic have been checking, which has been allowed for so many of these rotations to be in the right place. So it looks way more all-in, though, this time from Giants. Yes, they've dealt with that mid-utility a little bit, but it's quite simplistic.
Well, this was the round, though. We did see the adjustment. Derke towards B main. He's traditionally been towards pipes, towards nest, and challenging ahead of this hit onto A site. This time around, can't dip his toes, can't find the first blood. Giants, they find anything else. A little angle for Coutinho to play with here. But it's kamyk to open up, Chronicle to double down.
Okay, Cloud only good for a trade here. Fnatic, somewhat off-tempo to this, have retaken the site now. Derke's here. Great spacing and good work from kamyk, even just to swing back in. Yeah, this is looking wrapped up. Nukkye. Not going to happen. Leo, instant response. And that was the, I guess, first time we've really seen him with an opportunity to hit that site, Mike, but once again, still struggling to get on there.
Maybe this is a little bit of misdirection. Let's deal with the turret and make them think that we're going to push towards J.
Yeah,
we're going to try and
that
drift into
again.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But like I said, the fact that it's the nano swarm to deal with the turret, no confirmation of presence behind it, that almost doesn't force the hand of Fnatic. Yeah. All it requires is a slight adjustment from kamyk to come and pick up the slack where that turret's missing now.
And quite genuinely for him, as a first game coming in here, playing the role very well. Hasn't really had much of a challenge in that aspect.
Yep, utility on point, he's delivering numbers-wise, it's a big positive.
And here we see the adjustment tested. We didn't get to see that chance
Throw
before.
the protocols off once again.
But the buy coming out from Giants is very poor here. Yes, supplemented slightly by Coutinho investing the ultimate, but it's actually Derke to go down. Okay, Cloud doing very well early on, and Chronicle's now in danger. Denied the wall for safety, but does get to slip away.
I think the drone spotted him on the cross back, so they should know that Yellow's fairly safe for the time being.
No mid-lurk though this time. Once again,
all in
through B.
It's all in.
Now, does that suit Fnatic here? It could be a big benefit. Yes, they now have these two rifles, Nukkye and Cloud with those. Coutinho should have spotted Leo there.
I think that's a Viper Wall moment.
Oh dear. Yep, absolutely was. Leo gonna punish, and now Cloud gonna be on the receiving end. Still a good shot and still a lot of danger. Ryan picks up the rifle. It's being filtered back through, so down to a 3v3. Next fight, too isolated. No attempt to the trade. Nukkye overextends to try and finally secure this site, and the Viper's Pit goes up.
Well command behind that as well. Nukkye down to 45 HP. Almost want to see him throw his life on the line, try and find a trade here, but he backs away, now only a Sheriff in hand.
I don't know what the plan would be here if you're leaving Hoody like this. I'm just trying to secure the backside of the ult. I don't know. Hoody has so many angles to worry about now, tries to weave through a little closer, and then none the wiser, like ships in the night. They pass each other, and then instantly Boaster just dips in and finds him. What?
Oh, that's another round you look back at. It's, yes, the investment comes at the right time, but the value behind this initial Viper Wall, Giants aren't getting deep enough.
No.
It's fully expiring. Then Fnatic benefit off that grand reveal. They find, I think, 2 kills on the back of it. Fortunately, Fatino not able to actually solidify that position in danger. Once again, Chronicle gets that res online at the perfect time in the round, just after finding a kill as well, to make that advantage even greater for Fnatic. And like I said, Giants in a tricky spot. Looking down to 45 HP, has to give the rifle across. They can't make use of the null command in terms of putting Nukkye on the front line and challenging. It's just not lining up for Giants here, and the scoreline definitely reflecting that.
This has been marvelous from Fnatic, very enjoyable, but
But not tested.
No, that's the sad factor. I kind of wanted to see Giants come out and kind of, I know it sounds a little nasty, but test the stand-in, pressure that potential sore spot, right? Like, I think that's such a good way to potentially test out those options, because I do think Alpha plays such a key role within Fnatic. It's very hard to get that timing right.
And he's a power player.
He's
a fragger.
He is nasty with it. Now, we do see, hopefully, not the all-in. I want to see mid-pressure. I want to see a lurk. I want to see something here. Derke looks more than equipped to deal with that late A presence every single time. Nukkye has shown behind this utility, though. This is different. Do they commit?
Boaster's pit will actually cover all the way towards default, so another obstacle for Giants to overcome in terms of finding this plant on B site. Derke's repositioning much deeper here. He's on top of screen, so I was going to say, Rhyme's going to have to dig very deep, be even more diligent than the first time, but Chronicle there.
30 seconds left.
Derke is actually unnoted as of yet, and every single time this has happened, Fnatic have known it's a 4-man hit through B-main.
Well, I quite like that they've almost gone for a fact-finding mission way deeper towards CT, trying to take some spells.
Look at where Boaster's repositioned to.
But yeah, where the hell is...
Boaster's behind Giants.
Okay, but the plant's going to come in 10 seconds, though, and this time he gets found. Hoody wise to it this time, and now a 2v3. Chronicle and Leo trying to work the space back in towards this plant. Again, Cloud trying to find more information towards that CT side, a deeper hold, but it's Chronicle to find that first port of contact. Leo's found him. That's Nukkye gone. And now 2v2. Do they know Cloud? Do they consider this? Surely they do.
Hoody gives away his position, but
The wall.
yeah, Fnatic are going to know that there's a second player here because of the drone.
Yeah, absolutely. How do they deal with it? A lovely angle for Hoody in the end, actually, to work with. And Hunter's Fury feels almost like an overinvestment, but it gets the job done. Giants just about making it up to 2 here, but that is a lot invested behind it.
Absolutely. Set up a very, very deep crossfire there from Yellow all the way into spawn. Giants closing that one out. Again, this is almost what you've wanted from some of these B-side hits. The pit comes through, and Giants finally dig a little deeper to convert that presence into a lot more control on B-side. Again, historically, it's been Boaster punishing from that snowman position, so maybe the indicator is the fact that the pit comes through onto default.
Yeah. Derke up. Again, just finding so much early damage. Fatino walking away with tail between the legs really here. Not having really as much as I wanted out of him. Again, love to see a Fatino performance, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be, at least in this map. And Derke really not given a reason to back away yet. Still has the ability to dash out, which he's now feeling, and you're right, an elbow out of place, a pixel out of place, and he tries to stay around as long as he can. Does get removed from...
So what's that lineup? They put a lineup to clear barrels here. Rhyme almost exposing to the angle ahead of that Nano Swarm pop-in as well. Nice little set piece. Fatino will actually find the opening. Chronicle will fall.
And again, they have access to site here. Maybe a plant could be next on board because they've been denied so many of these. This time it looks safe. Nothing to stop it. No, trade is there. kamyk's the one to find Fatino. And now this is not... Oh, this guy's sharp as hell. 2 quick kills and Hoody's dead. Rhyme and Cloud are just a bundle of nerves. Surely trying to hold on to this. Cloud trying to be brave. Takes the fight to them. But now Rhyme has to back away and respect what's happening now.
The snake bite lands.
The snake bite is so ratty. Diffuse started. Leo immovable. He is not backing off this. It's diffused. Fnatic keep moving forward.
Huge round from kamyk, and I just want to note the discipline. He spots an elbow on backside there, backs away, and you can see on the player cam, relays that information, waits for the counter swing to come through. That's what you want a substitute to do for you. Beautiful stuff, and crisp as hell to find these 2 kills.
I'm going to say it, I didn't know this guy's name before it, but I certainly do now. Mini, I don't know where he finds these players. He's out anywhere, searching. And he finds absolute gems like this. Leo, headline star as it stands, but I mean, kamyk, certainly a wonderful performance considering circumstance, and once again we see it. The walkabouts from Derke just doing him nasty here. Cloud gone, and away he goes. Instant damage.
And another example, this slow orb has been thrown a couple of times by Chronicle, but the challenge hasn't come through. It's just to get Derke into nest. This time around, capitalize on it. There's going to be no counter swing from the top of ramps there. Actually, Derke might get a second. Vitinho, though, another opener for him.
He's had a couple of successes here towards this side. That's great. Leo is here, though, opting to back away from this. Doesn't want to try and go for some sort of heroics. Yet to hear that spike being planted as well. Rhyme, careful.
Shot dart should land this
one.
Actually, misses. God. Would have been perfect to combo with the snake bite.
That'd been beautiful, wouldn't it? Lockdown going to come in blunt towards the site. Vitinho trying to buy space for it. Dead. kamyk again. This guy is like a can opener, just prying him open. And he's trying to. Boaster with a trade for the lockdown is going to be coming in. It's gone.
They got it.
They've managed to do it. They've got the diffuse towards half. How are Fnatic this damn good?
That's another one that you look back at. That's a frustrating round to lose. The lockdown gets to under a second left from completing. And Fnatic somehow still find their way back onto site and get the half defuse as well, Lauren.
Yeah, 10-2 is just unbelievable. Giants were absolutely battered throughout this game. I mean, a couple of looks, a couple of glimmers, but overall, I've got to say for me, a little underwhelming coming into this. They never pressured that mid-positioning coming out or anything else, really. It felt flat for me.
No, and even very early on, you can see Fnatic's reads were on point. Constantly sending bodies to defend that A site hit, and also digging out Reimer in a number of positions where you'd expect him almost to find value in that lurk.
I just wanted a little more from Giants, and I feel like I've been saying that for a lifetime when you look at the individual parts, but as a collective, as one machine, it never seems to quite line up. And yes, there were some opportunities. Yes, they did manage to get 2. It's certainly not over yet. But across the board, Fnatic's still looking marvelous to watch here.
Yeah, absolutely on point. A couple rounds that you do have to look back at and really ask some questions, honestly.
Which ones would have stood out to you there?
I mean, a couple of those rounds towards B site, obviously that final round there with the lockdown coming in at the time it did. Feels like that's when you have to drag across the line. You have to. So that's something that, we talk about the value of having a lot of tape for Fnatic. Giants definitely going to come away with this with some tape to go back over.
Yeah, hopefully they can actually readjust and come up with something a little bit, I guess just... I don't think it even matters if you play Fnatic. I think just looking at it, it's going to be glaringly obvious and probably very frustrating. And I think you saw that, especially in the coach cams throughout this, watching this as that passive element to it that you can't have as much influence as you'd like.
If you've got the coach throwing his hands up being like, what are we doing? Then, yeah, I think it's fairly obvious. But concern being they have to come out swinging in the second half to even make this possible, to be honest. It's such a huge deficit to build up.
It is, and by all rights, Fnatic I don't think are really just a one-sided team anymore. They don't just have, oh, we're just good at this, we're just good at that. No, not at all. They are the full package here. I think a lot of doubts got swept aside, rightly, in lock-in. I think everyone was waiting to see if it all came together. It did. I think now we give them benefit of the doubt. They have the system in place and they are playing a fabulous game. But, again, for Giants, that doesn't build well for them.
Just to touch on as well, kamyk in a number of situations where you would have concerns, I guess from the outside looking in, when you say, actually, these are the sort of scenarios where we would expect the sub to struggle, right?
Yes.
It's to be, off timing in terms of the rotations, not be there in terms of the synergies to line up some of these double swings, but absolutely phenomenal half from him. Coming
Him
up
and
clutching,
Leo,
okay, yeah.
really nice combo between the
coming
two.
up clutching a couple of scenarios, but for me, it's the discipline on display and actually still having the ability to slot into a unit like Fnatic, which you got to argue is probably pretty complex, like under the hood.
System-wise, yeah,
in terms of what's
absolutely.
going on under the hood. So to see him come in and look as drilled as this in even just a handful of scenarios is a real positive for me.
No, it's brilliant to see. So let's kind of focus ourselves back up. Let's see what Giants can give us here. This has certainly not been a pretty viewing for them on this map. Again, this was Fnatic's choice, though. So take from that what you will. And we lead in. Fnatic making no subtleties of this.
That's Fnatic's wall actually to cut off, or cut in half, Giants' defensive wall here. To maybe plant the seeds that Fnatic have sent a couple of bodies up onto site already. I kind of like this.
No, it's certainly
It's going to be
making
difficult
question.
to dig behind it. Obviously with no flash or anything. It creates a little pocket to find a safe plant here.
Oh, and it allows Derke that little pocket as well, right? Like, he gets so much beautiful space to play in. And he does get handled by Hoody, but he was so far ahead of even the spike plant, they barely made progress towards that next element.
When he gets up into nest, it means that nobody can pressure on the backside of this Sage wall coming down. Beautiful execution from Fnatic. Very creative way to actually put this Viper wall on attack to deny some of the control of Giant Viper wall. But the stick coming through, I'm hoping there is some utility come through. Yeah, snake bites on it.
Yeah,
but the half comes through already, very early on.
Yeah, very nicely done. Just noting that that was available, that was actually something they could go towards, but now here they go. Anyone else going to be able to actually make any danger of this? No! Chronicle and Boaster in perfect unison! And the double dip from Chronicle. Fnatic once again just showing us beautiful plays here. Something you highlighted, that wall coming through from the start. It was actually really nice. It added that little bit of doubt in the minds of Giants.
Yeah, and it gives the other thing as well, it gives Derke that box to play behind in nest, right?
Yes.
I mean, on the pistol round, you're not going to be spamming through that wall to try and find the killer nest. Like I said, the snake bite comes through. Derke rewarded with the burst and actually doubles down on it. And the timings are just perfect for Fnatic here in the post plant. They get this plant basically unobstructed behind the Sage wall. The time of it comes down, they know then that they have open sight lines for it. Beautiful stuff. Really tidy pistol round from Fnatic.
And sadly for Giants, they can't really afford to try and leave this any longer, can they? We are going to see Stinger Spectres, Sheriffs coming out, light armor. You have to do something.
This is the best opportunity you're going to get, an even draw in terms of the economy, or in terms of the equipment.
God damn, Derke. That's Hoody dead. Oh, come on, Fatidia, right back to him. Stunning shot. Not going to get another.
Short-lived.
Yeah. Look, it was an exciting short life. But now the realism setting in here, that with still a minute left to play with. kamyk, let's see how you fare here. Temptation beckoning. Gonna hear the step away. Decides to show off once again. This guy's a talent for sure. 50 seconds. Ball's gonna go up. No threats really to deny.
I mean, even if it was what it's going to be Spectres or a Stinger to try and pressure behind the Sage wall. It's way more difficult to chip away at that. It'll just be a Spectre and a Sheriff, a Cloud and Nukkye to try and find this, but a 2v4 as well.
Yeah, the double stack just at the back of yellow. Quite nasty to handle. You can see it properly in action here. Yes, you do. So trying to clear towards the back of yellow wasn't going to be a successful task. Nukkye tries to make a go of it. It's 12 for Fnatic. One more to go. And Icebox once again match point made their own, really looking incredibly strong.
If it was ever in doubt. I mean, historically, this was their home, right? This is where they first really started innovating in terms of mixing things up and pulling some strats out of the bag, but this is clinical from Fnatic. Barely putting a foot wrong so far, and unfortunately, I mean, we'll come back to the same point, right? Giants didn't really test them in the first half, and here there's just not enough of a buffer to really switch things up on attack, have any sort of adjustment period for how Fnatic are going to approach this half.
Yeah, this has very much been a whimper for me from Giants, and a little unfortunate because I do hold them in high regard when I'm talking about potential. The ones I had down as having more likely of an upset today, but Icebox really quite a treacherous ground to walk in against Fnatic. So once again, looking towards the B side here.
So this plant's going to be fairly free as well, with two up towards Kitchen Hall. Nobody really here to pressure this Sage wall coming down. Chronicle's going to get the plant. Such a big contrast to see the ease that Fnatic can find this plant on B site.
And I think you're right, it is the stark element of the contrast there between what we saw, sadly, Giants desperate to do, and Fnatic making look like a walk in the park. And once again, the double stack towards yellow pays off. Chronicle finds Vitinho, and the tip of the spear gets blunted. Nice swing from Cloud and a follow-up. Takes out both of them. It ain't over yet. Leo's still holding towards yellow. You've still got kamyk trying to chip away a little bit, but there's fights in Giants. Finally around with a bit of fire, but a tap from the spike draws the attention. It's all just Boaster. 1v3, okay. Okay.
What was that first?
Whew. That's pretty nice.
Yeah. Beautiful. Oh, you almost want him to win the 1v3 at that point. You find that one. It's a little fight left in Giants here. Unfortunately, able to get this done. kamyk, I'm unable to find any value in that lurk. That would have been a huge pivot point in that round for Fnatic. Cloud as well coming through with the Guardian. Actually, sticking to the old faithful here. Going to carry across into the next as well.
If it worked once.
Finally some weaponry on board here for Giants. 2 Stingers, a Bulldog, the Blade, Storm, Cloud. I mean, yeah, he must have heard me. Making it work once again, finds the headshot to Derke. Removes those knives immediately.
All right. Give me a game, Giants. I dare you. And I know now said that it's going to go wrong. They've actually gone for the res here, too.
We're going to talk about comebacks on Icebox. Fnatic are playing. Really?
The
We're going there already.
The audacity, I know. Okay, Vitinho is dead. Leo's found a second.
Oh, no.
Okay, nukkye. What is Boaster doing? What are these shots?
He's going to get another!
Oh, come on! Boaster!
Nukkye's 20 HP!
Okay, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's totally fine. It's totally fine. There's a plant. It's all good.
Oh my god, Chronicle just got a headshot.
He's 7 HP. He's 7 HP. What the hell was that from nukkye? He doesn't even know what he's done.
That angle through screens never gets value when you try and wallbang him, but he finds a headshot here.
Yeah.
Chronicles with the jump as well.
This round is horrible, and it could be the one that gets the round win. nukkye, 20 HP.
Oh my god!
Come on! That's how it ends! Map 1, ridiculous moments. But man, Fnatic still looking damn good on Icebox.
Starting strong here in EMEA for this season as well. Another example though in that last one, that's when you got to look back at Giants, just like, how?
Yeah.
How have they come away and won that round? Oh, sorry, how have they lost that round? How have Fnatic won it?
I wish I could answer some of these things for you sometimes.
That's for the desk. We don't answer questions like that.
That's what I like to hear. That's it. No, you're
Delegation
right.
is key.
It certainly is. But again, sadly for me overall, map 1, I mean, it's Icebox. Yes, let's put it into context. It's very strong from Fnatic, but I wanted a little bit of that spice to come up from the Giants. Those individuals maybe to have a round or two.
I'm staying open-minded. Maybe we see it later on in the veto. I'm here for it. I still have high expectations for it. This is a tough starting block, though.
You're absolutely right. We'll be back in just a moment.
Zero distraction. Zero doubt. Zero opposition.
gives you wings.
Welcome back, everyone. We just witnessed Giants learning a valuable lesson as to why you don't leave Icebox open for Fnatic. I'm your host, Sue, and I'm back here with Kakuka and Lothar. I mean, we know Fnatic are good on Icebox, but that was a little bit too much of a domination.
Yeah, too much. I think it was probably mostly on Giant's side. I think that most things didn't go according to plan. We saw a lot of timings that were off. I think that Hypok was doing a great job, calling them out, because in every execute, we saw Giants actually not going as further as they should, especially with the utility that they were using. And even when they got to the post-pass situation, they got lost in the sauce just too many times.
I have a special weather status from Icebox. Fnatic still ice cold. You know, it's like they just play what they should be doing, how they should be playing. It's about patience, it's about waiting for your attacker's first move to respond with utility. And that was not something that was being triggered at all by Giants. Giants were just kind of like trying to expose any kind of overpeaks from Fnatic, and that's not going to happen. Specifically also when the entire defense strategy is built around Killjoy and Viper combos when it comes to stopping the first possible plant. You have the Viper Orb on the B default to either stop the push towards yellow or for retake as well. It's like a double smoke, right? But all of that is being used only when the players are alive. So they are not overpeaking. And Giants were playing like, I don't know. Actually, I don't know what they were expecting when they didn't make any moves in the first minute.
Honestly, there's one thing that I especially loved about this map, and it's the fact that Giants win 6 rounds in a row. Where trades were not perfect coming from Fnatic. Of course, you need to be very careful of what the duels that you're choosing, but especially from the defense, everything was just working out for them because they were relying on that. If you don't get it, I know that I will get the trade. And it's something that we could see. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a 13-3. It doesn't get better than that.
They didn't have to do anything special. Like I feel like Giants wasn't challenging properly. Something that you mentioned is that they were not proactive with the space gathering.
Yes.
Like you don't play Sage. You don't have the same certainty. I mean, semi-certainty when it comes to planting the spike.
You're never gonna have an easy plant.
Right. So I was very surprised to not see the Viper wall being adjusted to gather more space. There was not enough like let's say, map carved out for Giants to take this space, abuse the KO flashes, get the space with the dagger, and they was just always falling behind because in post-plant, they are not going to match what Fnatic has prepared against them.
I mean, let's take a look at one of those rounds, Lothar, that you had prepared. I feel like every round there was something we could have spoken about, but there was one in particular that Fnatic actually did really well here.
Yeah, that was round 11. Both me and Kakuka were watching it. It's like, we had another round prepared, but we were like, oh yeah, this is straight up better.
We literally looked at each other and we were like, yeah, this is perfect.
Like, you can see that nukkye just solo peeks into screens, dies, and there's, from this point on, Fnatic will be ready to retake together and have the instant also calls. You know, it's like they're ready for everything. They are using the utility, the ultimate to carve out the space. The diffuser is diffusing from an angle that is not open to the only position that the player can be after that kill lockdown. And also the molly there secures that position as well.
It is perfect, and I think that's something that we were talking about is what you're seeing on your screens right now, and it's kamyk. Of course, playing in for Alpha here, we were talking about the big shoes that he had to fill, and he was doing just exactly what he was expected to do, just be the killjoy. I think he didn't have a single first death, which is like, you know, he's mostly playing on the defense, so don't take an extra risk, don't go for the crazy play. You're here as a substitute, and he was filling in the role perfectly. We cannot have a single complaint about him, especially because when it came to moment like this one, he was always performing.
I think that might have been even a little bit more discipline than Alpha.
Yeah, he had 2 first bloods and 0 first deaths. And as a player that is playing a role that is so specific, like your job is to wait till your opponents are attacking you and not die till your teammates are rotating towards you. He did a fantastic job at staying alive. I know it sounds kind of boring, but that's just the task that you have.
Yeah, and it doesn't even feel like that is a 6th man, you know, that we were speaking about it. He is just a part of that team.
Actually, I'm going to tell you that if you want to have a 6th man, I hope that you're training him like they're training kamyk.
Well,
after one map?
Yeah. Oh. He showed discipline from the first moment.
I have another question. If you would be watching this map without nameplates, would you say, oh,
Icebox. But before we move on, let's talk about these two, Leo and Cloud, going head to head. I think both of these players had great moments, and they're both kind of one of the star players on their teams too, Kakuka.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, the performance that is going to be what we're looking at, the better one is going to be coming in from Leo. But I think that Cloud on the side of Giants, even though he was making some mistakes with his positioning and what to do in the early round, I think that he's still the Cloud that I want to see moving on. I know that the next map is going to have a little taste, a little feel to it, but what we saw here, for now, Leo's on top.
It's kind of hard also to compare them when one team had 13 rounds and the other had 2.
It wasn't that off.
Yeah, I mean, he had 15 kills. He was on the top of the scoreboard for his team, but also that is you can read that something was not going correctly for the team when the Sova on Icebox gets the most kills, right? So it's like...
It is Cloud, in fairness. He does do things like this.
Yeah, but it's like, I felt bad also when I saw like they're getting the space, then nukkye plants, he's getting killed when they're planting, and we see that Cloud wants to do as much as possible for the team, but they're just always at a disadvantage. They're always one player behind. They're always playing from being in that position.
Well, maybe they can have a chance to turn it around on the next one. Let's talk about Split. This, of course, was Giants' map choice here. We've never seen this team play Split as this 5, but surely, Kakuka, they picked it for a reason.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And I'm expecting something explosive. I either expect that this is going to be a double duelist coming from them, or definitely we need nukkye on Raze because they need that explosive factor. They need to be on their faces. They need to replicate what Loud did against Fnatic, and it's literally I'm on your face, constant control over the part of the maps that I know you need to play it, especially from the defense, because you know that, most likely you're going to be starting on that attacking side.
Yeah, I mean, this map, I have this argument a lot of times, actually on Twitter with some other coaches as well, from other teams. Almost everyone is kind of like divided. Is this map actually defense-based or attacker-based?
I saw Hoody's screen.
Okay, but don't tell me, I didn't see it. I feel like on the pro level, the team that is really well coordinated will find more success on the attack side than defense. Yeah. It's when the team don't have a good structured enough attack is when the map becomes apparently defense-sided because it's so easy to hold the choke points, but it's still less choke points there's more choke points that you can go through than, for example, in Ascent. That's why I think Ascent is more defense-based than Split.
I think that, you know, that this was an excuse for very early in the game. It's enough to say, yeah, this is too defense-based, this is too attack-based, because we have seen many teams, okay, Fnatic just keeping up with the warm-up, just in case it didn't have enough with Icebox, but we've seen many teams changing their... Same feeling. It means like if you want to make it a strong part of your map pool, it has to work on both sides. You cannot just rely on one of that. That was, you know, Gambit 2021.
I think the map just really favors someone who is prepared to make a well-constructed machine for the attack, and it's really like there's a lot of satisfaction in executing on Split, you know. But when it comes to the compositions,
yes,
that we might actually see from Fnatic, like they use the Cypher, Jet, Omen, Raze, and Sage before on Split. But just because we have kamyk here, I would expect him not to play Cypher because of the lack of confidence in practice on this agent. So we might actually see Killjoy back-to-back on those maps. And I don't think that's a problem.
No, I don't think that's a problem, but would you consider maybe them swapping something else besides that? Maybe we saw a lot of double controllers where they're at lock-in, and it's something that, you know, it was used in the past on this Split, so it wouldn't surprise me a lot if they were to go for that swap as well.
One aspect, if this Killjoy is gonna get picked, there has to be another change. I mean, not has to, but might be happening, which would be the Viper pick that we have seen in the past, because what you do with Cypher on attack is you typically set up two cages on A main and ramp to make sure that you can like maybe, you know, go through ramp, but if you don't have the Cypher, Viper has a perfect role for that to substitute it.
Well, this is the agent select we are seeing here. Again, we're kind of expecting kamyk to just fill in for Alpha, play the Cypher maybe here. His Killjoy looks kind of clean, but I'm interested in... Wait, okay.
That's a raise.
Okay, I mean, looking at the side of Giants,
he goes for the Cypher.
And nukkye is going to play Raze. nukkye has not played Raze since August 2022. It's Fortinio that's been playing the Raze.
And we have Sky from Cloud as well. This is such a stark contrast between the two lines. Do we have 10 different characters?
No, because we have two Skies.
Two Razes.
Two Razes and two Skies, but definitely the purposes of the compositions are different. Of course, Chronicle and Derke are going to be having a great time when it comes to catching players off guard and just going for those initiating duels. But definitely, Giants actually going for that double controller, maybe trying to replicate some of the damage that Fnatic could have gotten in the past. And now it's time for nukkye to shine.
I'm so excited about nukkye Raze. Oh my goodness.
I think everybody anyone that has ever watched EMEA has seen that clip of nukkye on Bind.
Yeah, for sure. This is like the Quake moment.
Well, I fumbled my toss last time, so here's my time to redeem myself. I'm going to throw this over to the greatest casters, the greatest people that has ever walked the planet Earth. It is Pansy and Hypok.
Ah, Matsy, I just wrote down thanks dash. I was going to hit you with a thanks dash, but now I can't. Chop now coming into full effect here with Split coming up. This could shift the dynamic a little.
Yeah, this is interesting. Obviously, the adjustment of composition on the side of Fnatic's where my eyes go towards. We haven't seen Split from Giants yet this year.
Sure.
But it's the nature of the changes, right? We dropped the double duelist. We also dropped the Sage. So this is
it's like a rollback, kind of.
Yeah, it almost is. It feels like actually this is almost designed to play a little quicker than what we saw the double duelist pulled out versus obviously Sentinels and Loud at lock-in. So again, dropped versus Loud, but one against Sentinels in fairly comfortable fashion with that composition. So maybe this is the return to some form of normality in terms of compositions. Whether or not that was kind of targeted counterplay towards their opponent to lock-in we saw, we'll have to wait and see.
EMEA crowds are pretty good. I'll give you guys that. Look at you go.
They've shown up in force.
They really have.
They have.
I'm not even kissing your ass. You've done really good today, crowd. I'm proud of you. It's been a relatively long day, but we do go into Split, and this actually could be quite a fun one. Giants, I hope you're ready for this, though, because, again, Fnatic don't do things lightly. There is normally a great deal of prep, intent, and consideration if they leave a map in.
That's just starting things off here. Derke will find value on the back there. Cloud going to answer back with a third as well. The upshot will force him out of position. Can he find the kill though? 13 HP, able to slip away. But a huge advantage here for Giants to kick things off on split.
He's done so much, and Chronicle can only backpedal so far. And already you can see Fatinho trying to close down towards him. Yeah, maybe some support coming in. Oh no, Chronicle up and over. nukkye is here, and he's on the raise, and you love to see it. Cloud, fantastic round. Giants, that should get the blood pumping.
That's the way you want to start the map too. After Icebox being very one-sided here. Fnatic trying to take the initiative. Derke initially finding the first blood here, but immediately the response comes from Cloud. The upshock almost a little late in that regard. I don't think that was necessarily a prepped piece there. The aftershock to come through was reactionary, but just allowed enough space for Cloud to punish and find 4 on the pistol.
That's going to mean the world to him as well. And I love seeing nukkye just flying through the air.
Nukkye back to historically what we loved seeing him do.
It's why this roster can be such a tantalizing concept, right? You're like, imagine if this happens, if it lines up, it looks so good. But again, it's a test here, and this is a high-pressure position for kamyk to try and play in. This is very difficult. He does have Boaster trying to temper Giants' pace, which has worked well. nukkye had to respect that, but they go back in this time.
Actually, the cam, he takes very deep contact towards Evan here. Not noted on the side of Giants, but they don't find anything on the back of the Trailblazer in that initial exploration.
The mirroring on rotation here from
That's what we saw on Icebox a couple of times earlier. Yeah. Perfect read on the back of this contact early on in the round.
Wow. You know, we'll get there. There we go. nukkye starting to explore. It's going to be Leo and kamyk, but again, it's the amount of bodies over here. Yes, okay, maybe there's still one here, but now spotting 2 over by Pillar might be a problem. Let's see if any damage. No. Little far. Gonna frenzy to work. Derke gonna find 2. Oh no, he's found 3. Why is this getting dangerous now? Oh, breathe a sigh of relief. Rhyme survives, but barely.
I mean, I was going to question the weaponry there with how clean Giants are able to actually find their way towards A main. And Derke pulls out 2 with the frenzy. Makes that interesting. It comes right down to 1 player for Giants. Going to force a massive repurchase and investment here.
Yeah. Look at this. Oh man, Derke. Oh.
I mean, actually, even if it didn't take him so many to find the other kill there, potential to reset.
No. Diving in. We'll go back into the Project G power-up round. nukkye once again dealt with. I like this attention to detail to deal with nukkye's early aggression, but it is Cloud by his side. He's found Leo there. And not leaving nukkye alone on an island, not leaving him isolated, bailing him out a little bit. If that pressure came through from ramp, that would have been such a problem.
Boaster noted on the reposition here. He spoke up, and actually, Giants drift away from the spike. Was not committed on this side. See, Ryan, he's got very deep progress here. kamyk's set up unchallenged as of yet. Looking to try and capitalize off this one way, actually. The Seekers will reveal him, but already 3 members of Fnatic here.
Yep. Again, right place. They're so hyper-aware. nukkye first man in. Doesn't get the first blood, but a good trade. Rhyme going to continue the progress. There are a couple of players towards the backside of the site they are yet to deal with. Derke being one of them. Finds hoody and looks towards the site itself. Plant's going to come in. Denied? Yes. Couple more seconds in the hands of Fnatic allows for that threat to be handled. Fatinho's gone down. Cloud, can he save him? Derke sends it, doesn't get it. And now 28 seconds. You've got to play Ring a Rosie, not like this. Derke with a paint shell in hand does switch out towards that Guardian. And he's got them on the run. Catching 1 in the heels. Cloud is barely breathing. Walking away as a walking wounded. 15 seconds. They've got to get that spike down.
Let's actually have 2 flashes here, and we'll hear this very early on, but
he's going to check
Cloud has to find it, and he will.
Cloud! Great positioning in the end. Held his cool, kept composure. 3 HP is enough to get them their 3rd.
For a flying start here. I said they need to be confident from Giants here on map 2, and absolutely delivering on that front so far. A couple of things just look a little off kilter here from Fnatic early on. Again, that wall is designed to split that ramp player from the main player. So Leo wants an overextension here, which is very uncharacteristic. See if that trend does continue. McLeod starting, what was that, 8-1 he started?
Yeah, the confidence is swelling, and I'm so happy to see that for him, because we hadn't really seen him on this sort of stage having that sort of consistent performance, that highlight performance. What a moment for the young man. This continues. Mid going through the clear. Oh, Cloud. Forced down a little, no one there to punish. And a patient mid take so far, a lot of posturing towards us, so Mike.
Oh, force off, and actually Fault Line might punish Nukkye with the paint shells. Derke does find it, but actually Patino getting a kill ahead of that, coming through to prevent any aggression to follow through on that utility.
Remember, the Giants' purchase is substantially better than Fnatic so far. Yes, Stingers, I think, and yeah, one Guardian for Chronicle, but that's about it. Light armor by it. Smoke goes in late. Boaster, good timing on this.
Yeah, he wants to play close on it with the Stinger as well.
Works well. That's another smoke to invest if he feels he can. They don't clear this. Yes, they do. Just checking Leo, trying to dip away.
Yeah, noted him, yeah.
I think they have.
Yeah,
Hoodie's on it. Okay,
Pick it
that's
up.
fine.
Really well.
Lovely. Okay, all those potential dangers are being dealt with. This is really good from Giants. After questioning their somewhat like default approach, this has been fine. Kind of clearing as they go, pre-firing towards where Boaster was positioned, making sure they noted Leo, not letting him get away with any naughtiness. But now Chronicle and kamyk, what can you do really about this? So that deep positioning coming out from Hoody is very indicative that time is very much going to be purchased for Giants if there is any threat.
So you do have the fact as well. Hoodie's repositioned very deep towards spawn. Does have 2 snake bites as well. And the value of having this double controller. Chronicle's found one. He will respond, and actually will double down. Seals the deal on Giants' 4th round. You know, difficult one for Fnatic to really get anything tangible going with the equipment. We'll come back in here. Light armors across the board. Expecting the same from Boaster as well, but in terms of expecting, yeah, right, just with the awareness that the purchase is going to be bad, somebody was going to try and capitalize on that smoke just to spam through. Here's when we see either the adjustment or a timeout called here from Fnatic to really assess the situation.
First time I'm really seeing this big purchase coming out. Utility behind it, though. This is the round where we see if Fnatic can actually handle these hits from Giants. Nukkye quick to take pace, quick to take the space up towards ramp, and the challenge will be on the other side.
Rolling Thunder set up for ramp, though.
And it's very well positioned. This is a lot of players now looking vulnerable. Off kilter, out of position. Derke does it. That's great. Nukkye gone. Right, no effective trade available. They've not given him that space. Oh, Derke! He can't fail. The guy doesn't know how to fail. He just.
Such a beautiful adjustment as well. Fnatic consistently losing out with this challenge from ramp, so they give up the space here. The difference being they have a rolling thunder set up that goes clears all of ramp. I mean, you can see even Nukkye wasn't safe behind the box there. Beautiful adjustment. Fnatic baiting Giants into the space that they have been successful in taking.
Watching this back is just gorgeous. And I mean, yeah, Derke just makes it look so easy, and it certainly is not.
It's Fnatic's first, though. So expect a couple more of these early on in this half. So talking about the default as well, was one of the things we criticized heavily is what value were Giants getting? What were they trying to achieve? And whether it's successful or unsuccessful, in my eyes, it was very flat. It's a total difference here on split.
Yeah, Boaster this time over towards events. And you can see a proactive play. I like this as well. Leo and kamyk trying to work in unison there, and I may have noted the barrel being spotted. So very telling of a split towards the B site. Hearing the flash come through, I think they know what's coming their way. Can Boaster do any sort of damage up from heaven? What is going on here? Flash for Leo, but it's a little messy for him. And Boaster tries to catch him. Does. That's going to be Cloud caught. Patino bursts back in, so Heaven is still in the at least Giants camp as it stands. Spike left in no man's land, and they're down to just 3. Make it 2 now. Nukkye and Hoody. Pretty far apart. Hoody could have a ratty position, but look at the counter position coming out from Leo.
Problem being the neural theft's gone through, so they're aware of this. I think that's why the challenge comes onto site, happens so quickly on the back of that. They know they have the numbers advantage, can punish that spike being down.
Yeah, lovely.
Beautiful, beautiful stuff from Fnatic. Unfortunately for Giants, I think this relies on Fnatic finding value. There's 2 people to go through B main. Looked a little awkward in terms of the timing for the utility. Yeah. Paranoia comes through to heaven. Unfortunately, Giants able to slip, I think, 2 players ahead of that. And that's where the problems start to creep up. But luckily, kamyk and Leo do, I believe it was Rhyme early on, positioned outside Garage. So it's absolutely crucial that they find that kill, and it's clean. Because keeping 2 in B main there makes it so difficult for Giants to convert that heaven control into site control.
Yeah, and now of all the players, I'm quite liking this little combination of kamyk and Leo kind of working together. Saw a couple of glimpses of it on map 1. Again, a potential another challenge here. Certainly not as threatening of a purchase, but they need to make this work now. Oh, Chronicle. Able to fade away from this. The adjustments from Fnatic are gorgeous. They are starting to read this game, but there's still threat here, still danger. Down the rope they go, and down to the knees they go. It's Rhyme and Hoody again, basically, at this point here. Hoody, that late positioning, not going to catch any. Oh.
Yeah. Capitalizes. And the other thing now, it almost feels telegraphed, right? Rhyme has been in this position consistently as well. Fnatic have all the tools to dismantle this B split once again. Stabilize a little bit here. I want to see a couple of rounds early on. We've seen that now from Fnatic. 1 away from tying things up.
And as much as I loved seeing Cloud absolutely tearing through them early game, that was fabulous to watch. You've seen Derke answer back in kind and then some, right? He's continued this, whereas sadly for Cloud, he has been held on that. These B splits have just been absolutely perfectly handled by Fnatic. Giants struggling now to make it work. Hopefully a timeout coming in, which I believe it is now for them, pumping the brakes to maybe find that next step for themselves. And maybe find a new look that catches Fnatic off guard here, because right now they are once again in comfort. I
mean, it's crazy with that start that it's almost like Giants are the ones feeling the heat here.
Yeah.
Because Fnatic have clawed their way back in with 2 shutdowns of what felt like Giants, not necessarily a set piece, but almost a cornerstone of how they want to approach split here on the attack. And the question now comes, actually, do Fnatic go exploring? We obviously questioned early on was the early round protocols that the Giants just had no real grasp of. The Fnatic now throw a curveball in there.
Well, if you roll your mind back to Icebox, if you're thinking about the principle of how it's executed after a certain amount of success, yes, Derke starts walking about. He starts taking that space, taking those slightly more aggressive positions, and starts working Giants down. Whether or not he does it now, we wait and see.
That goes there.
Well, I'm hoping so.
Yeah, I also hope nukkye wakes up a little here as well. Struggling to find that early success. 1 kill thus far, not what you want to be seeing from what you'd argue is a specialist too.
Well, variation here, set piece with potentially Derke to go exploring on that fault line. Flash not popped, so that was on the back of actually being suppressed by Fortinho. So crucial timing there, but obviously Leo will assume that there is presence behind that flash, even if it wasn't popped. Definitely confirmed now. Trailblazer and Rhyme spotted. Leo nearly caught. It's down to 14 HP.
Yeah, Leo barely alive. That could have been so much of a threat then. And it looks like the adjustment's quick for Derke.
Post this.
Oh my god, they are running. They are fleeing like rats to the sewer. Derke posts it, but it actually doesn't hit. How did nukkye just avoid that?
nukkye's playing a different game. What was that movement?
I don't know, but is this like... every time nukkye tries to dodge things, it always just looks unreal. He's so good at that, but again, we focus on the rest of the round because they've still not found the ground they want to lean towards, and there's still 4 players on this side. nukkye gonna pop his Zot on the other side and hope for the best. Boaster, you're brave or stupid, I don't know which. For now, controlling the round. And 4 apiece, tying all even.
That is wild. There's a moment there where Derke's good for like, I think 4 people are in ropes there.
I just want to know what nukkye did.
Well, he satchels forward to almost bait it out, and then satchels backwards. What is that?
I know he's having...
This is the thing. Historically, this is the sort of thing. nukkye would be doing that and then finding 3 kills.
3 kills, yeah. Like, again, this is why we get excited. We're like, look at the glimpse you just got of what he can do, but he's still on 2 kills. Once again, we go back in We ask for difference. We ask for a new look, something to catch Fnatic off guard, because they have had the answers.
Ooh, Cloud actually ate
Wait,
two,
how much damage?
2 hits from that aftershock.
Was he
with
in the
light,
dog?
yeah, only with the light shield. He was inside the Trailblazer, so 2 connecting there. I mean, he's down to just 5 HP. Obviously can't heal himself.
No. Nukkye looking like he wants to try and make up for it. Swinging off the swings off the back of the flash and just gets deleted. Derke is quicker.
This is the thing, we talk about Nukkye's numbers here, but what he used to do in that scenario.
That one you are never going to win. That's okay.
Derke's
You're
tucked in
allowed that.
deep off the fault line, hears the flash, then swings ahead of it.
Yeah. Ridiculous. Must be nice to be that talented.
I mean, it's tough when that's your opposite number.
Yeah, that's who you got to best here. And we've questioned in the past someone like Derke playing on the Raze. And right now he's looking comfy. Divide goes in. No secrets really to this, and still presence towards the site.
So Leo didn't actually have a flash to pop through this, but Dino has one of his own. That's good. Actually, oh my god. Nearly actually repositioned back behind the Astral wall. But Fnatic still finds it.
That early damage on Cloud now could become so critical to outcome. But let's see.
Look at this though, 2 players here.
Oh, nice work from Hoody. And gets away with the reposition too. It's only Leo to really strike towards the site, and he's gone down. kamyk and Chronicle diving in. Cloud still alive. 5 HP, and he's finding this. Oh, kamyk's being toyed with. None of these positions are easy to clear. No one is giving him quarter. He has no opportunities being given. And he does at least get down Cloud, but at this point, rounds wrapped. Giants find what they needed, but it took a whole lot into that round.
And finally, find some value in one of these lurks at least. And the position here for Rhyme to be towards Vents and Hoody, obviously positions towards Ramp. With that plant, they have that utility to rely on. That's the strength of this composition. If Giants can get to the post plant, I mean, I don't even want to say get to the post plant. Cloud's finding that value on 5 HP so early on. Yeah.
Yeah, the unconfirmed damage is kind of rough. When you look back on that, that'll certainly sting a little. But plenty of ults run through in that round. A couple more to play with here. Hoody with his Chronicle on the other side. Loved the implementation of Chronicles earlier. Leo going through the protocol list, but we've seen Giants running this. A lot more presence towards A this time, though. Way heavier attention towards the side of the map. Trailblazer going to go in. Cloud noting very little early on, just the opposing numbers. And Leo going to spot at least one. Not sure if he noted any behind.
I believe 2 off that Trailblazer. At least from the spam. There was somebody else trying to shoot it, not Nukkye, so. On the back of that, actually, you see Rhyme and Fnatic try and find some space towards Heaven here.
They're ahead of the rotation, right? Noting Derke, he has to still commit towards that A side. They're trying to work these rotations and try and find a punish on it, which I don't mind. Changing up the pace a little here, and does Derke get punished for this now? That lurks in place. He does. This time success, but it's the pendulum swing to the other side of the map. They're intending to go towards B.
Oh, the timing.
But Boaster could not get better with the timing on that. Catching Rhyme in the worst position possible. kamyk is in a world of danger. 26 HP. I don't know how he hasn't been killed yet. The cross is being watched. The flash is there. The plant's coming. Hold on. kamyk worth his weight in gold. Denying Cloud in this. Yes, the plant gets picked up. Yes, the spike's back in hand. But Boaster striding in, and now the 1v1. And Hoody is a mile away. He has no time to be subtle.
So
the steps are heard. 13 seconds. Just Boaster has to hold down Mouse 1, and he does. Huge round from him. And Giants looking fluid that round, looking like they had a bit of a read that time.
I mean, the safety net in place for Fnatic there. 2 watching across from Spawn. kamyk just has to commit to the crouch behind default. The flash from Leo is perfect. And then it's the double swing once again. It's kamyk in a position where that synergy really on display.
Noting it earlier on, seeing it here, crystal clear.
This is a beautiful round from Giants. Take nothing away from that.
No, the fact that they got to that plant, that they got on the site, was a incredibly well-painted picture. And they fell to pieces. And now the Perch is left in a little bit of a shaky spot here. Nukkye with nothing.
Toxin screen down.
Rifles scattered throughout. Ryan with one, Hoody the other. Bulldog Guardian on the other side. The money looking far better off.
I'm not actually, I mean, it looks like in the minimap they might have caught Boaster, but hard to tell really with the radius there, but let's have the information that it cleared through Mail at least. Flash doesn't catch in towards Heaven. Talk about safety nets. Look at this setup on B. This is the problem when you have this lurk. To complement that perfectly. So once again, Fnatic at least have favorable numbers to greet this hit. Now, the flash doesn't catch. That might draw the rotation.
It could, yes. It certainly has. Leo swinging back over towards B. Now ringing the dinner bell. They're going to have to respond. Chronicle is ready for this, though. So should be able to quell the pace a little bit. And Derke's found a pocket to play in. He found success before. As well. Does he find it again? Flash, good, gets it. Clouds there. Leo's now on the site.
The Spike's
now down, and they can try and defend this with their lives. 15 seconds, Mike. This is getting so dicey. They have no means to get this back. And Fnatic are just flooding the site. Bodies on the line. Flash goes in. The smoke's still in place. There's no getting past it. If Fnatic can just play to the clock, which they've done perfectly, this round is theirs. Devastating for Giants. And a gut punch for them.
I mean, thank God Fatinho's able to recover a weapon there.
Last round in the half.
But again, it's textbook from Fnatic. The catch, and that's the one thing, that's the curveball in this round. Could completely throw the plan off. Rolling Thunder in position to seal the deal, completely stop that push in its tracks. And like I said, the spike falling ahead of that smoke means that Fnatic can just solidify it.
Oh, this is a nice spot.
So a couple of light armors here for Giants, but coming to round 12 with Seekers and the Viper's Pit. Fnatic got 2 up on this wall.
What?
They catch hoody on the timing.
And Hoody has been having these lurks every now and then. That presence may be considered. Really nice isolated hit. Smoke goes in. Boaster has been good for a couple here, actually finding the timing right. This time warded away. Now we look down towards the likes of kamyk. Maybe Leo a little, see how they combine once again. nukkye is just flying towards the site. kamyk is surrounded on all fronts. Does he even survive? Still standing, but only for a second. This time, Giants working their way in. Boaster, though, slips the net a little. nukkye not going to fall for it. Rhymes there. Giants keeping this game alive. Tied up 6 apiece. This is the matchup we wanted.
Switching sides.
Very different to Icebox. Fantastic opportunity for Giants to actually have some sort of buffer, some margin for error in the second half.
Yep. What a game. This is much better. It feels so good when you're looking at it from a Fnatic perspective, but Giants are keeping up. They are clawing back into this game, Mike. They are somehow digging deep enough, which is very surprising.
Yeah, and the real positive to see here is some really well-constructed rounds from Giants. That was, for me, what was very, very absent on Icebox, particularly on the attack. We were questioning that default, the value that I guess they thought they were getting, but we can see the minimap. We know that Fnatic were on point with those reads.
They certainly were, and speaking of Fnatic, there's a bit of an icon waiting on the stage, and for once I'm not talking about just...
Currently Khan. Hi Khan, you know, it's been quite a few years in the making to bring the boys to this stage. So how does it feel to be able to sit here, watch them, of course, when they were in Brazil, and also watch them live here in Berlin?
Yeah, what a journey it's been, right? Starting with Valorant a few years ago, slightly later than some other teams. We took our time, we found Meanie, found Boaster, fast track it to now. We actually come in here as a champion following lock-in, so extremely excited. Extremely proud.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
Well, we would.
Now, of course, Alpha Year is not here today, and I think that not a lot of people are familiar with kamyk, who's playing really good right now, but it does feel like he's not just a substitute, he's not just a 6th man.
No, I think the team has done everything right when it comes to incorporating a 6th man, a 6th player, a substitute. It's one of the challenges in esports, right? Compared to sports, you don't really have that kind of rotation, but I think the guys have done really well to ensure that he's up to speed with our playbook, the culture of the team, so quite plug and play, but obviously we miss Alpha here, and shout outs to him and hope he can be back soon.
I also think after locking, you guys gained a lot of new fans as well. A lot of people are tuning in right now just to watch them. Is there anything you'd like to say to the Fnatic fans out there?
No, I mean, it's just a privilege to serve you guys through different esports. I mean, it's been a busy day already for us with League of Legends fighting their lives in the regular season. Now back here in EMEA, trying to do our best to qualify into another international event. So, yeah, lovely having you on the journey, and thanks both in the good and bad days, of course.
Thank you very much, Khan, for
Thank
joining
you.
me. And we'll see if the boys can pull this 2-0. And I'm going to throw this back to Pansy and Hypo.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sue and Khan there. Honestly, I do like hearing from Khan as well. He's one of those players, and I say players, that's mad. My brain defaults to that.
Yeah,
Once upon a time.
players, yeah.
But as said, you're a great mind for esports as well, and seeing Fnatic hitting these heights, it just feels poetic after such a long run of their journey.
I mean, even the insight there are just about, you know, the system.
culture.
Yeah, the system in place behind this team, and knowing that actually kamyk has been supported to not just be the sixth man, but also be part of the team and actually be a plug-and-play element to this Fnatic roster.
Because I think it's fair to say normally that's nonsense. That never really lines up. It's not normally the truth to the matter when it comes to these six players.
We're seeing it today, though.
And this is exactly why I wish more teams took it seriously, because this is the value you can get. This guy is a really hot prospect. I'm sure some teams might be looking at him for an option now, if anything. But still, 6 apiece. It has been a fabulous matchup if you're just tuning in. Giants scrappy, but keeping up in the fight. Fnatic pulling out a couple of gorgeous rounds themselves. And they're able to take a round ahead yet.
I mean, I almost feel a little heartbroken for Giants to not come out with some sort of advantage from that first half.
Blocking vision.
Obviously, we talk about a massive improvement from map 1, but a couple of rounds that you got to argue should have gone their way as well here on Split. Ryan will be caught by this fault line. Gravity Roll will slow things down. Again, it will be noted at least. Just isolate nukkye temporarily. The flash is perfect. And actually, Derke and Leo will find kills. Hoody will respond, but Chronicle there. Shut this down. Nobody else from Giants available on the site. Fnatic will find the plant and a comfortable reset into this post plant.
This gets tricky. What do we have? Okay, 2 flashes actually still to play with. Knife quite far off. Chronicle tries to take a little bit of information and will receive it, but Derke playing patiently. When does he pull the trigger on that? But Cloud allowed so close, does take down Chronicle. The trade's good, and Derke's patience pays dividends. We have the pistol for Fnatic here, and Giants now back under the gun.
Fortunate there for Ryan. We almost think with that fault line, nukkye's ready to catch the cross, but it relies on nukkye just finding potentially 1, 2, or 3 kills with the swing coming through. At that point, that second wave, that flash to follow through onto Rhyme on default meant that they could find the opener. Chronicle will actually have the handle in hand here. Boaster, I was going to say, he's been good for that Marshall purchase in the second, but came through pretty late on. We don't have that same focus on getting that ultimate online here with the Omen, obviously, but as good as an operator here in round 2, even when you're blind.
Fully blind. Count to 3, press mouse 1, hope for the best, and you might actually get some goods for it. Hoody, though, does have a... Hoody readjusting over towards rafters, but again, no follow-up threat to this.
That's a key early on, though, that pocket is checked on.
Yeah. I mean, Derke loved it there.
Yeah.
So you end up...
And with this wall that comes through from vents, the opportunity for Giants to post somebody up there.
The fight on the other side is horrific. It's all about timing and a little bit of luck there. Rhyme going to try and hope the luck's on his side, and it's not. Derke selling them the dream, but Hoody does do the damage. Okay. And this is where the spike is, so he's got the majority of the players here. Fnatic are still going to continue this way forward. Chronicle's found him. There goes most of the threat. The rest are classics. Good as they are. Shouldn't have much play here, and we do have what looks like the eventual lurk coming in as well, so very little play to be had. And yes, it's comfortable. There's Vitinho. Faces it down, and he does at least take down Boaster, so making it a little bit more costly, you could say.
The interesting thing to note here as well, one thing, the Giants obviously have 2 members committed to that lurk position. It was very rare that they were taking contact on both sides at the same time. This here, Fnatic take contact, and immediately Derke's ready to follow through on the smoke. I think he's even the one to relay the information of when that smoke is put down, so that the timings are in place for Fnatic. And that's key. We're talking about, obviously, when Giants were looking to push and pull rotations, it was very rare on the back of contact, especially on both sides, or two massive pivot points on the map. That's actually very interesting to sit back and watch, and whether or not Fnatic will actually rely on that a little bit in some of these buy rounds.
I'll have to try and check back in on that and see if that does become an element.
But it was a pendulum swing, right? It was like Hoody trying to find something over on one side and then Rhyme over on the other side. This here is so refined.
Yeah, the systems are quite impressive when you start really getting into the meat of it for Fnatic. Rhyme checked on early and left walking away with a little bit of a graze down to 50 HP. Does have nukkye up towards heaven. And actually not much of a focus towards middle just yet from Fnatic. This time we're seeing that tested now. Flash does go in, doesn't actually catch Hoody on the other side.
That's interesting. I was going to say, I think he might be in the smoke here, but the spam, and Hoody will make no secrets about his whereabouts.
And I quite like this default so far as well. A lot of a test, a lot of presence noted. They found Hoody here at this point. They found a couple of other players. Nothing too wild, but proactive for sure. But Hoody kind of re-clearing this might be indicative that there aren't as much presence in that position as there actually is here. Now, Rhyme's under scrutiny once again. Still 3 players here, but look towards middle. This is a dangerous part of the map. 3 players are standing here, now just 2. nukkye barely alive, 30 HP, dealt with, stamped on. It was kamyk who got him, the one who got Hoody. Has a gorgeous little 2-piece up towards heaven.
Sorry, in the frame.
Plant is down. And Vitinho's on the other side of the map. So this one looks like kamyk. All right. Did go for, you know, you got your 2 earlier. You don't get 3. Vitinho just wants to keep that rifle, if anything. That would be a dream come true at this point.
We do start getting a little concerned. This will be 9 for Fnatic, and with the purchase in the next, you got to argue should be 10.
And then, hey, we wait and see. Crazy things have happened. But again, I'm just still so impressed with kamyk, because I think at the start of this, I kind of asked you the question, because I was very unfamiliar with him, that this is not his traditional role at all.
No, and I think what's important to note is kind of the emphasis around some of these setups. And yeah, kamyk might not be fragging as hard as he was in some of those situations on Icebox here, but it's the value they find from his utility. Oh, okay, well.
Not fragging
might
as
not
hard.
be fragging in some of these situations, like on Icebox.
God, they timed that to absolutely wrap
I mean, scrap the point I was going to make, to be honest. Because we run clips like that, it's just like, yeah, the guy is actually insane, by the way.
Yeah, mechanically just dirty with
but it's the value, right? Some of those setups on the defense where it's like there's a very heavy emphasis towards Boaster playing off that utility and being that second layer to that B-side defense. A couple of times trying to put him in positions, but on the Cypher, it's a very different role you're playing versus the Killjoy. A lot of it is just relaying of information, and you ultimately are the one to dictate some of those rotations. So yes, it's not reflected in the numbers, but still delivering here for Fnatic in my eyes.
Yeah, and it was a heavy emphasis towards the B-side early, almost chasing down Rhyme there, the kind of follow-up flash that was just chasing him all the way back, but luckily did manage to pop the smoke.
Well, because Fnatic have identified he's kind of overextending on some of these jump peaks. And also then, the spacing between him and the counter swing on Heaven, all it is a slight adjustment on that smoke, force nukkye into a very, very unfavorable position to try and stop that hit coming towards Rhyme.
And now the sign of wonder is this now an A piece, because they've gone completely silent on B main. They've got no big information towards it either, but look at the slip up here from Derke. He's able to get so deep. And I think they're guessing there's presence. They've only found Derke, and that's it.
This could be a big jump scare, actually, for Vitinho if he thinks it's only Derke on the other side of things.
Does have Cloud with him. I guess that's a little bit of a helping hand towards the site. But rotation
has given up Heaven completely.
Yeah. They have so much space.
This is always a very difficult hold. Vitinho good for the first, though.
Okay, got to see if there's a follow-up because the crunch is coming in. Here's the ult invested as well. That's going to put Cloud in a really uncomfortable position as well. And yeah, he's dealt with so quickly. They know Vitinho's on the site. He was the one who got the first blood earlier on, and now down to 10 seconds. Whereas a spike, it's being planted. No threats to deny that. No, it's down. Leo does get around the corner before he takes any more damage than that. And it's a 3v
at the choke point. Well, Giants can even get out here.
It's double stack. At best, you get a trade, and that's what they get. Hoodie, though, gonna find Chronicle. Hold on, Leo. Is he the final line? No. Rhyme's still standing, putting Boaster in a dangerous position. The timing, the ping on the spike, and it's a fake, but it's fine for Boaster. Converts them up towards double digits now. Fnatic looking in form. A costly round, but they have plenty of cash to spare.
I was going
here.
to say, I did actually reference it in the round. I did notice halfway through, this was the one that Giants did throw back some investment into.
Yes.
So it almost makes it worse because I was saying you got to assume 10. Now you have to assume 11. There might be a rifle.
It's the knock-on,
yeah,
right?
It's the domino effect, basically, with making the decision to throw some investment in that. Previous, maybe on the back of Fatinho holding onto that rifle, that was the one that they wanted to build around.
Sure.
But it now comes a little later on in this half. Just pistols here. And it's mountains to climb to come back into this.
And it's just a wrecking ball approach from Fnatic here, just as 5 approaching the site. Yes, there are bodies here, though. This is not a completely free site. This won't be as easy, but kamyk going to make light work of 1, and Leo's there. The flash not finding much, and again, this is Fnatic just fighting as a pack. It's 5 players standing, and the information out free flowing. Fatinho not having a great day. And sadly, he feels very alone here. No one able to help him out. The other two a million miles away, but a banger of a shot. He's hit a couple of those now.
He's been good for one with the Sheriff.
Now, it would be lovely to see a bit more, but we are asking a lot of one man and a Sheriff. How about 2, joined with a Frenzy? First ball. Oh, come on, kamyk. Just farming it up now. 11 for Fnatic, but you did say this was a round that's going to make it very difficult for Giants, but now they get to buy back in.
Concern being, it almost feels like we'll get a chance to just look back at the ultimates. In terms of the tools, it's you leave it this late in the day. So precarious.
Why do you look like such a gremlin then?
I mean, looking at, yeah, Cloud 1 away, Rhyme 1 away, do have the null command. Not really a game changer in terms of...
That's off.
Sets it up.
Oh, come on!
It's so fast.
So quick.
Response
Nukkye.
there from Giants, though.
Yeah, they dealt with it. They tempered that tempo towards middle. They've dealt with that pace. Chronicle position noted. They're going to know there's more in middle as well, so this could be a good read from Giants on what's in front of them. Now, the 3 remainders from Fnatic have to try and somehow find those steps in, right? How do I find a favorable fight here? Fatinho just want to let it. That's good. Fatinho denying the slip back through from Chronicle. Hustle about it either. In the meantime, Boaster clearing through sewer. But now Leo spotted. 50 seconds, it's a lot to play with, but where do they try and find this one key fight?
Ultimately here relies on going out. Nukkye really overstepping the mark here. Now he's, could argue he's in a one and done. Does actually get away from it here. Boaster, almost an opportunity to catch him off guard.
Nice, very nice from Nukkye there. Stalwart in approach, immovable, because they were trying to sell this concept of that kind of CT play, right? The smoke going down towards CT side on A, very deep. You had that ping off the back of the suppressor, the spike, the knife coming in. But this was Derke earlier on. I mean, god damn, he is quick as lightning, this guy. What are you meant to do if you're on the other side?
That's what Hoodie saw.
Take me back to the winner's POV. Take me back to the winner POV. I don't want to see that. Oh.
But the other thing to note as well, surviving there. So that is a little bit...
It's a boon.
Yeah. A little bit of an opportunity for Giants to maybe stabilize, build up a little bit of a bankroll.
They're actually kind of puffing up the chest towards middle, looking like they want to maybe show a little something. Boombot goes down, but you can see Fnatic holding a little bit deeper this time.
Yeah, I haven't really seen any exploration on the side of Giants. Haven't had an opportunity to see it in many of these rounds.
Hoodie does not like that Derke is on the other side. There is no comfort.
I mean,
there.
it's a tall order for Hoodie to really continue committing to playing this position behind his poison orb. Fnatic just sending so much pressure his way.
And they've garnered the response of 3, right? You have nukkye looking this way, you have obviously Hoodie there as well, and it has pulled Vitinho to deal with this too, leaving just Cloud towards A, so a lot of faith in his hands. Now with 50 seconds, Fnatic can still hit rotations here. They don't have to funnel in late.
Interesting to see is actually if on one of these B hits, they actually put Chronicle towards Sushi here to actually stun off that angle behind that smoke. Like I said, the number of times Fnatic have tried to isolate Rhyme.
He's tucked to the back of the side this time, though.
Right, that's I think he's stunning across.
Oh, that's lovely. nukkye! Oh! Catch that, Derke. And now there's 2 towards the back of the side, but nukkye is putting on a damn show there. 2 big kills, quelling all of this danger, dealing with all of that threat, and it's dealt with. You ain't getting towards B this time. Time is done for as well. Hold on.
10 seconds left.
Nah. Cloud sends him away, says, nah, not today. You can watch the clock rot. We'll take another round back. It's going to be 8 for Giants. Digging into this game now.
I was curious. I was kind of speculating whether or not that fault line is going to come through on Heaven. I think Chronicle actually sets up for it and stuns across onto nukkye, who's playing up on top. Yeah, you see on the replay here. That's the adjustment I was waiting to see from Fnatic is actually, yeah, we know Rhyme's being forced off these early angles and put into a pretty tricky spot.
It's horrible.
How do we actually isolate nukkye? What's the second kind of face to this B site hit? Unfortunately, it's a showstopper, so even when you're stunned up, that thing will still land where you send it.
As we saw, timeout going to come in. This is Fnatic. They have pumped the brakes here. Maybe feeling the Giants are starting to get a bit of momentum behind them, a bit of a roll. Don't take that away. Mini, a main stage man at this point.
Killed the walkout earlier.
Oh, mate.
Nailed it.
Naomi Campbell
A
level of
seasoned
walkout.
veteran.
He's just strutting.
Yeah.
Someone snap him up.
He's gonna hate listening to that.
Of course, yeah. No, it's
We made
good.
him feel very uncomfortable
Yes,
between
yes,
matches.
of course we do.
Yeah.
Because Mini is the nicest person in the world,
Yes.
so you have to be.
You can get away with murder.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it like 3 rounds separating Giants and Fnatic here?
Yeah. But
I'm saying it felt like Giants should have come out with an advantage here, and you can almost argue that actually it's the tougher way to spin this now with Fnatic finding double digits so early on. And Giants now have to walk the tightrope. But 2 back-to-back rounds where 4 survive. Like I said, just to come back to that point, building up a bankroll.
And a couple of very contrasting keys. nukkye isn't having one of those outstanding games. Yes, it is good, but it's not one of those is flying off the rail sort of games. On the other side, actually, seeing Derke look comfortable on Raze is wonderful to see. And speaking of that, we're off to middle. And once again, Hoodie is dead. Rinse, repeat, play it back. It is the same scene, and middle is divided. And they have access to both sides here. So it's going to be Cloud on one side, joined by Vitinho. On the other, you're going to have the option of Rhyme and nukkye, I believe. So pick your poison. Where do you want to go? Cloud. Trying to be subtle about, oh, the paranoia sends him into the arms of Boaster. It's so choreographed.
It's just textbook. Vitinho will respond, can't find the second though. Derke will shut it down. It's just Rhyme to try and recover things here, and he's still on the other side of the map. He'll retrieve the orb at least, but it's a consolation, nothing more. All those positives from back-to-back rounds, 4 standing, will be ripped away here, because Fnatic should find match point.
And you have to say as well, Hoodie sadly is the sore spot that Derke is constantly going to, and there's no support system.
I mean, I'm talking about the variations of the B site here. If you find this kill on Hoodie for free, it makes it so much harder to reinforce that heaven hold. You haven't got a second flex player coming through.
No one else there. And yes, he was stunned by it. And again, they found something that's worked. And even if they just posture that that's the case again, it's going to add to the paranoia. This is all now a mind game. Let's see if we can watch this one. But that was the paranoia as well. Cloud getting caught in that one. Nowhere to run or hide at that point. Fnatic, they occasionally pull out these rounds that look like they are scripted from start to finish.
Not sure if that's actually for the fault line to line things up here.
And it's pacey. Looks like Derke wants to get a quick bit of territory garnered into their side, into their favor, into their hands. And then it's a little bit dealt with. The spray does find kamyk on the other side, but the pressure is mounting. Vitinho stands up to it. nukkye towards kamyk. This is great work coming out from Giants. handling the threat that was poured towards A. Spike a mile away from Chronicle's hands as well. Does he get the fair fight towards Heaven? Hoody turns the flash, swings it, doesn't matter, wins it. Hoody gets vengeance from before.
And what's great here is you can see that side-by-side comparison. Actually, the way to bail out Cloud in that situation with that paranoia, exactly the same thing thrown once again, forces Cloud into exact same position as the round before, but Fatinho's there to bail him out.
There it is.
Yep.
Perfect. You nailed it there, just spotting that he was there ready for it. Lovely, quick adjustment. And it's worked out. It's given them another lifeline, a couple more opportunities to bring this game back.
Difference being, though, there's no paranoia around Vents control. Hoody stayed alive. There's a slight adjustment there. He's playing towards Mail instead. There's no paranoia that Heaven control is going to be a problem.
Well, I don't know if they noted this element prior, but a lot of early utility put down towards B to deal with any of that aggression that could have been mounted.
Derke is probably smiling about it. His spotter is like, yeah, Hoody's in Mail, by the way. He's not in Vents anymore.
He doesn't want this. He does not want this anymore. It does mean the rotations are a long way away if you leave one man late middle for that A hit. Let's see. Just pulling him over towards that side. It looks like Giants instead wants to get a little bit proactive, taking the space towards A and maybe...
remove the camera. And that's actually huge. To catch any information towards ramp or any progress towards A main. But on the back of that, I'm wondering if Cloud's just repositioned to Heaven.
Okay.
Yeah, Flash going to come through towards Vents.
That's fine. We could take a little bit of space in between, start working up towards ramp themselves. Fatinho this time does get noted watching this position. Let's see if there's a little pre-fire towards it.
Someone's got the wrong thunder here. They're going to post it towards site.
So there's 4 players on the site now on the other side as well. So this retake actually could be incredibly strong, or they try and take the fight here. Fatinho is almost out of the fight though. Great stopping power! Giants stop him at the door. Perfect utility work. Cloud does get overwhelmed this time. No chance of a bailout, but the trade they'll take. Hoody the one to connect it. And now favorable numbers for Giants. Double digits calling their name. And the others have to back away. kamyk 11 HP, Boaster 13.
Boaster and kamyk actually the two that you need them to hold on to these rifles here. Boaster 850 credits. kamyk down at 1,000, so. Again, the placement here. Hoody knows exactly where to spam with that gravity well. Fatinho good for the clearance as well, just in case somebody had slipped in. It was Leo on the other side of things.
When does the money go away for Fnatic here? It feels like they've had a buy so often in this.
Oh, they're still running the light armor rifles. Actually, Chronicle the one to go. That's Leo as well to pull in a full shield here. But
a second attempt. Nukkye. That time he's got it. That time he connects it. Last time there was so much early work put to forcing him away. Hoody, he's gone for the other side. He's trying new things out, but that is great. Early damage done. Hoody, can he make something more of this now?
Removes the smokes as well. It's going to be very difficult for Fnatic to recover here.
Hoody, there it is, vengeance! Sweet, gets to peel away. Nukkye on the other side towards kamyk, and we are starting to see Giants find that rhythm now.
They'll respond, Hoody. Does fall here in Heaven. Flash won't catch anything. But Nukkye repositioned with this operator now. Tough for Leo to swing this and even escape. You can see Chronicle on the other side of the map.
These guys flash in like 9, 8 seconds, something like that. How do you clear Rhyme up there? You just don't, do you? Where's that chance going to come from?
Actually, I'm not even sure where the flash went there. Might pull Nukkye off the angle. With no confirmation. Fnatic gonna either hold on to those rifles.
But I also don't mind them just pausing to see if anyone overextends potentially. I doubt
what
Giants
you need
would.
here in this 2v4.
Yeah,
it's for Giants to give you one, give you an opener.
Very unlikely. And there it is. You know, Leo's going to make it out of here, but now it looks like they're just waiting for this clock to rot.
10 seconds left.
Rhyme, this position just wouldn't be a traditional check. And yeah, so the rifles being the paramount element for Fnatic to take forward. The 2 Vandals going to stay in hand as the money is starting to come into question here. And Giants are taking it 1 round away from OT.
See how the purchase does settle. So yeah, Boaster didn't even get a chance to use any utility, so we'll be able to get that light shield and rifle back in play. That's where the benefit comes through with that economy management.
Here.
Only kamyk's ultimate here, but Derke 2 off the showstopper. Boaster and Leo 3 away. But he does have that Viper's Pit. And do you know what's great, Ats, is not see his confidence knocked. You see he's challenging ahead of that utility in mid now.
It's just the switch up here. I'm a little worried for Rhyme if they've identified that there's going to be a potential switch in middle. Now, whether or not they know that, they're absolutely right. Derke is now unleashing Heaven a little bit deeper. Oh, again! Right! Towards Mailroom. We're looking at the rest of the side though. It's under the Fnatic banner somewhat. Boaster from Hell gonna take down Cloud, but the trade's there. Ryan working his way in. Goal denied on the ultimate. 3v2. It's just for Tino in the final moments. This could be ripped away from them. How much can one man do? He takes the first fire. Oh, and kamyk's got him. The young man standing in as a replacement to seal it for Fnatic.